Hello and welcome to this very special web series, Paisa Talkies. Joining me today is Naveen Kukreja, who's the CEO and co-founder at paisabazar.com, the innovator, you could call it, in all things that are financial. We're going to talk about credit scores. If you've ever tried to take a loan, or if you haven't but want to, there's one thing you must know, and that is credit scores. Most of us don't keep this in mind and therefore find it difficult or more expensive to get a loan for ourselves. To discuss all of this, Naveen, first up, what is a credit score? Because most of us are not very familiar about it, even though you've done a lot of work in trying to educate people online about what a credit score is and how you can get your credit score. But if you could first up tell us, what is a credit score?
Thank you. So credit score to me is like a report card. When we were in school, we used to get this report card, which was basically the summary of our past performance for the last year. Credit score is something very similar. It's a summary of how the consumer, as a consumer, you have behaved on your credit products, whether it's loans, credit cards, and in terms of payment, in terms of usage. And that's also a very important factor for what will happen to you in case you go out to get a new loan or a credit card.
So when you say it's a report card, what are the kind of factors that go in? Because you said it's very behavioral. It's about anything that I've done with my money. Could be my credit card, could be a loan I've taken. So how does my credit score evolve? What are the factors that determine it?
Sure. So credit score as a concept was kind of launched by RBI, and all the banks contribute data to it. So anytime you have taken any loan or credit card, that data is going to the credit bureau, which maintains and updates your credit score. So how much loan have you taken, how many credit products, whether loans or cards do you have, how are you behaving on them in terms of usage, how regular are you in terms of payments, whether you're making full payment or part payments, have you defaulted ever on your credit card or loan. These are mostly the factors that go into determining what your credit score is. And as one would imagine, the higher the credit score, the better your history and behavior has been in the credit bureau's mind, and the more likely you are to get a loan, and more easily would you get a loan and a better pricing.
So what, Naveen, is a good credit score to have? And can I find out what my credit score is? How do I do that?
So it's very easy. About 4 years back, it was very difficult to get to know your credit score. The process was very offline. You had to fill a form, send a DD, courier it to the bureau's office in Bombay. They will courier the report back. The end-to-end process will take 10 days or so. Now, on a platform like ours, Paisa Bazaar, you can come in and in exactly 3 or 4 minutes, you will get your credit score if the details match with what's there in the credit bureau. From a credit score perspective, the range is usually, for all the bureaus, there are 4 bureaus that exist. The range is between 300 and 900.
300 to 900?
To 900. It looks like a big range, but if you've had used credit earlier, which means you have taken any loans or credit cards, and you've been regular on your payments and you have used them regularly, you are likely to have a score of 750 and above. Okay. Usually a 700 and above score is considered acceptable, 750 and above is considered as good, 800 and above is considered excellent. And these kind of score ranges will mean that it's possible for you to get a loan next time you need it, whether you're purchasing a car or a house. And if you're below that, you have work to do as a consumer. And you then need to figure out that what exactly have you done wrong in the past and how can you correct that. We have a service for that also now. What we do is, for people who have a score of less than 700, usually they have some issues. So we do a detailed advisory for them in terms of what exactly can they do to increase the score over a period of time. But if I were to basically share 1 or 2 rules of thumbs, if you have a credit product, use it regularly, but keep making payments on time. If you have credit card, and even if you can't make the full payment for any reason, at least make the minimum payment. That makes sure that your credit score stays good. If you do not have any credit product, then do take credit, any credit product, whether it's a credit card is usually a good point to start. If you've not taken a credit card, or if you are planning to take a bike or a car, that's also a good place to start. Only if you have credit products and if you behave well on them is when your credit score builds. If you're new to credit, you do not have a credit score.
Okay. And can I go to a platform like yours and get to know what my credit score is? Do I need to pay something to get a credit score to find out where I am? Because
No, so yes, you can come to our platform. It's very, very easy. Like I said, it'll take about 3 to 4 minutes for you to get to know your credit score. And we made the service absolutely free.
It's free of cost.
It's absolutely free of cost. And not only do we tell you the credit score one time when you come, but what we do is we help you track the credit score every month. So you come to our platform, take it once, we will send you monthly updates in terms of how your score is moving and if there are any actions you need to take to kind of maintain a good score.
What is the benefit from a rate point of view? Again, a lot of young people watching this interview, some may be wanting to go and get themselves an education loan or a home loan.
Yeah.
When you said that you could be average score, you could be a exceptional score or excellent score, do banks give you a better deal? Do you get actually the benefit of a lower rate when you have a good credit score? Is there an incentive?
Yes. So two things. Firstly, you need to have a good credit score to be able to get any credit in future. Credit scores came into being in 2008, and before that, banks used to lend without that. But now, almost all, in fact, all of the credit products first go through a bureau check. So if you apply for any loan, whether it's education, car, vehicle, credit card, personal loan, home loan, the blender or the bank you've applied to will first check your credit score. And if it's below a certain number, there is a chance that you may not actually get the loan, which is completely avoidable. That's number one. Number two, if you have an acceptable score, then if you have a higher score, the chances that you will get a better deal become higher, because you become what the banks in their language call as super prime customer, which means very good customer in terms of past behavior. So as one could imagine, more and more banks would want you as a customer because you've been a good customer, and hence it's very likely that the banks will give you the best deal, knowing that you are a very good customer.
Okay. If I haven't, managed my credit score well, or for maybe an odd incident many years ago, it's gone bad, is there a way in which I can improve it, and how long does it take to go back from a low score to a high score?
Sure. Yeah, of course, there is a way you can improve it. It's simple. What you need to do is first, of course, check your credit score. If it's low, then get into the details of why exactly is it low. It's because of a few incidents or a single incident that happened in the past where you missed payment, forgot it, or went out of country, something happened, or there was a dispute with the bank due to which you didn't settle the account or close the account. The best way is to go to the bank concerned and have a conversation with them on removing the flag, which is a delinquent flag, from your account, and settle the account with the bank by making the due payment. Usually if it's a very, very old account, you might realize as a consumer that there is a lot of interest that's accumulated. But if you do go and have a rational conversation with the banks are willing to kind of be reasonable and recover principal and some reasonable interest, and may not ask for the full interest. So that's step number one, that you kind of clear the payment, follow up with the bank and make sure that the bank has updated the credit record in the credit bureau after you have settled the payment. And after that, it's usually a matter of between 60 to 90 days in which your credit score will keep improving. And the other thing to do if you've had such incident is, besides settling and paying off on the old loan, continue with some credit products. If you do not have an existing product, take a product, whether it's a credit card or a loan or a bike loan, like I said, and improve your performance. So make payments regularly, and over the period of 60 to 90 days normally, but in some cases it can take slightly longer, 3 to 6 months at most, your score will start moving in the right direction.
What are the myths around credit score? Because a lot of people feel that it's something scary. They don't want to go out there and try and get hold of it. They feel that I might have a bad credit score. Also, there is this fear that, sometimes you might have settled something, but the bank has probably not in its own system updated it and reported you.
Yes.
How does one deal with these myths, and are there any other concerns that people have around credit scores?
So, one of the most important and the fundamental myth earlier and probably continues a little bit now was that credit score does not matter, and the banks may or may not be reporting it. The consumers need to understand that credit score is very, very fundamental to all credit decisions now. The banks report each and every action of you as a consumer into the credit bureau. So whether you've taken a product, whether you're paying full or part, and hence it's very, very important to maintain a good behavior on your credit products. The second biggest myth that I've come across while talking to consumers is that consumers say that if I take my credit score from the platform like Paisa Bazaar, would it impact my credit score? It does not impact your credit score. Okay. It's absolutely free, and if you as a consumer are pulling your credit score, there is absolutely no impact. It's actually good to know your credit score, and not only know it once but track it every month or every quarter to see how you're doing. One of the other myths that one has is that if I haven't used any credit product, I'm actually a good credit customer because I don't need any loans. That's not true. You need to use credit products, you need to have loans or credit cards and build your behavior. That's the only way the banks will know how you have behaved in the past, and that's the only way you will build a credit score. So it's important to have credit to build a credit score. And one of the other myths I've come across in conversations sometimes with consumers is that, especially in credit cards, they feel that if I keep the usage very, very low, then my credit score will actually be good. Again, not true. You do need to keep a very regular usage and use a lot of your daily expenses, I would suggest, on credit, something like a credit card. So keep building the history. What's true, however, is that you should stay within a certain percentage of limit. So let's say if your limit of your credit card is 1 lakh rupees, you should try and spend no more than 30 or at most 50,000 on your credit card, 30 to 50% of your credit limit. Okay. If you go beyond that, the banks start considering you as over leveraged. That means you need a lot of credit, and that is not a positive indicator. But if you are within 30 to 50% of your credit limit and are using it regularly, that's almost the best case. It's almost like driving a vehicle, right? Driving at 20 is not the best thing for the vehicle. Driving at 60 is, and driving at 100 also is not the best thing for the vehicle.
So moderate your behavior, be careful.
But be regular.
Yeah, be regular. Thank you very much, Naveen, for talking to us about credit scores.
Thank you.
Build your credit score and get yourself the benefit whenever you decide to take a loan.